All right. What I want to share today is something that I've been thinking about for a while, kind of like off and on, but I haven't really found the way, or rather the reason to just share this particular thing. But now seems like the right time to do so, and it's a really simple thing, really, but it's also kind of like unbelievable if you're not aware of what I'm talking about. And that is the fact that humans, people, are not naturally bad. They're naturally good, like by default, by their very nature is good. What's bad about humans, about us, is the stuff that we hold on to. The stuff that we're holding on to is what causes us to be these mean and angry and sad things that want to destroy things and want to to not get along with other people and to not cooperate or not communicate with other people. All these things that we're holding on to is what causes us to be these ways that we are, and it's stuff that we don't recognize, or stuff that we don't know, like consciously. It's stuff that we'll experience in the moment, and then we'll hold on to that. And in holding on to that, we tend to forget what it is that we're holding on to, and we just start being angry at stuff that becomes broader and more general in its appearance. Like it could appear as something else in the present, but in the past it was something else, something much smaller, something even seemingly unrelated in terms of like being directly related, and it becomes more indirectly related as time goes on because you to forget to what that is, and in forgetting what that is, you aren't able to go into it and understand it and to heal it, because that's what we're supposed to be getting from it. We're supposed to be getting healing from it because there's a lack of understanding. There's a miscommunication with us, and not only the thing that we experience, like the experience, like there's misunderstanding in the experience, and there's also miscommunication in the experience, but there's miscommunication within ourselves, and there's an inability for us to understand in ourselves, like in our whole being. Like we may have the issue in one part of our body, like we may hold it in one part of our body, but there is a reason that, and the reason that we hold on to it in one part of our body is because the information hasn't been able to travel to move on because it hasn't been processed. And since it's not processed, we hold on to that, and we stay stuck in those feelings and those thoughts, and then staying stuck in those thoughts regardless of how old they are. 333, and regardless of how old they are, who caused them, and when it happened, or why it happened, and what it meant to us at the time. Regardless of all those things, it's what's holding us down. It's what's holding us back. It's what's holding us in these emotions of anger and sadness and worry and depression and all these things and confusion. It holds us in all these in all these mental like traps. But getting out of that takes us going into it, and this is why a lot of people are like these I want to say like children who are like in grown up bodies that are holding on to stuff that was in their childhood, stuff that they didn't understand, and they fail to kind of like grow and progress as as a child, and in failing to grow and progress as a child, they weren't allowed to develop properly, and in not developing properly, they're not able to communicate on the level of some other people. And that's not saying that they're bad compared to other people. It's just that they're holding on to this, and the other person may be holding on to this? You know, is this different? Because I mean, no childhood was perfect. I don't think. I mean, maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. I don't know. I can't really say, but I know from my own personal experience, I know my own childhood wasn't perfect because of stuff that I held on to and I kept secret from even myself. And in keeping the things secret from myself, I wasn't able to learn from them and grow because I didn't understand them and I didn't know how to question those things that I didn't understand, and I didn't know how to go into those things that I didn't know that I didn't understand, and I didn't know how to explore those things that I didn't understand, and to get healing from it, and to get understanding from it, and to understand why I would have some type of miscommunication and misunderstanding from those things because I wasn't taught those things properly. And there wasn't a conversation 555. And there wasn't a conversation about certain things in there. And even when there was conversation about certain things were cut off from my understanding because the way that it was expressed. And this has nothing necessarily to do with my parents or anything like that. It's just like the situations could be like even with my peers at the time. Like we could have been having a conversation, or we could have been experiencing something, and we don't even know why we were doing it. And in not knowing why we were doing it, we started to develop based on that, and we thought that understanding is what was supposed to be right, and then understanding that was supposed to be right, we grew from that. And that's how you grow, like in the wrong way. And in growing in the wrong way, you are holding on to all these things that are not fruitful to you, and they cause you to grow bad fruit and to have and to give off bad fruit. Like and people come into your tree to enjoy your fruit, but they can't really enjoy it because it's not produced of the proper nourishment. I mean, it doesn't produce the proper nourishment. It's not produced from the right tree. Like it's like rotten fruit. Like from it's like rotten fruit. Even from like even from the tree, like it just becomes rotten after it's like been grown from the tree. If that makes sense. I was thinking of that like as I was saying it, but I was trying to I was thinking of too many things at once. I was really trying to think of an example, but yeah, it's the wrong fruit growing from the wrong tree, and since it's growing from the wrong tree, it's not going to be sweet. It's not going to be good for anybody that wants to enjoy it because the tree doesn't even know why it's producing it. And since the tree doesn't know why it's producing it, it's not going to be the right fruit for that tree. That makes a lot of sense. And since it's not the right fruit from that tree, then and the tree doesn't know, like if the tree doesn't know the fruit and the fruit doesn't know the tree, then there's no connection between the two, even though this is growing from this and this is hanging from this, and this is what was effectively produced from this. And that's not a good thing for that relationship to even exist, especially within oneself. And this happens to a lot of people. This has happened to me. This has happened to people around me, and a lot of us don't know it, and there's a lot of us that are going into like those things that cause us to be this way, and we're cutting down those I guess those branches, and we're like growing new branches, and we're trying to produce fruit that is actually fruitful and that is actually sweet to other people, that helps other people to enjoy it and to get some type of sustenance from it, to get some type of nourishment from it. And the reason why I say this is because I observed like a kind of like a reflection of myself, getting he's developing, but he's developing in the developmental stages, and in his developmental stages, he's like going through some of the things that I went through when I was a child, where he wasn't able to trust certain people, and he doesn't understand why he can't trust other people, these certain people, but he's developing these issues, and it's not necessarily his fault. It's not even necessarily the people around him fault, because they're going through things too that they don't understand. So it's like I guess this is what they would call like generational curses, because we pass on things that we don't understand, and then pass the things on that we don't understand. And we taint our bloodline. We taint our offsprings and just the our offsprings, and just in doing so, we don't help them in the future, like, because we don't understand that something is wrong within us, and something was wrong in us, like, growing and getting to the point that we are, because a lot of us are adults doing this, and in being an adult doing this and not knowing it is not necessarily a bad thing, but it's something that you need to be aware of, but it's something that you need to be aware of, and in starting to be aware of it, you can start to heal it. But you have to become aware of it. You have to know that you are causing a problem, and that there is a problem within you. And in recognizing this and then taking accountability for it, then you can start to get healing. And that's the only way that I myself have started to get healing, and have watched myself grow a lot. Even with the relationship with myself, I've grown a lot in a really short amount of time. But it's taken a lot of dedication, and it's taken a lot of being really cognizant, being really accountable for my own actions, and seeing how I am or I have caused problems, and being very cognizant and observant of how I've caused problems. I've stopped the cycle of causing those problems. But it takes, like, recognizing that first. And so I can't fault anybody in their that's on their journey, and in their growth. They have to understand that they're growing things that are not helping other people. But they first have to take that step back to really look at what's going on in their situation and their surrounding. And that'll help, with them knowing or realizing that they're not helping the situation by interacting and communicating the way that they do. And yeah, it's something that we all go through. Like, even the journey that I'm on, a lot of people will go through the journey that I'm on in their own time, and it'll mean whatever it means for them. But I lost my train of thought. But yeah, we all go through it, and going through it, we have to just really realize where we're at on our journey, and realizing where we're at on our journey, we can then grow from our past. I don't want to say our mistakes, because a lot of it, like I said, is not our mistakes. It's just stuff that we don't understand, and we don't know why we don't understand. So it's just a lot of stuff that we've been taught, even, like, unconsciously, that we've held on to. So it's like the process of letting go, and to allow your inner child to be healed, because your inner child is what it's all about. Your inner child is the one who collected all these things, and in collecting all these things, and your inner child collected all these things haphazardly, because it didn't understand, and it thought that you were the one who knew what this was and why this was. But when you realize, or when you both realize that you didn't know why you were collecting these things, and the things that your inner child kind of, like, inherited through your misunderstanding, became the world that you live in, and it being the world that you live in, it became a world that kept getting recreated over time, because it was something that wasn't really being addressed. And since it wasn't being addressed, it was something that had to be seen over and over again, because it was something that was seen as normal to you. And since it was seen as normal to you, it's something that your inner child wanted to give to you as like I don't want to say a gift, but it kind of made it present over and over again. And since it was made present over and over again, it was presented as a gift to you because it was something that you weren't showing up for yourself for, and in not showing up for yourself for that those particular things, you just simply just recreated it over and over again because it's something that you weren't saying that you didn't want in your life. You didn't want to show up in your life, but it takes a lot of accountability. It takes a lot of observation. It takes a lot of wanting to heal those things and wanting to understand those things to get rid of them. But you have to get there. You have to get there first. But like I said, we all get there on our own time, and I don't place blame on anybody. This is just something that I realized within myself, and in noticing my growth, and it's not compared to anybody. It's just noticing my growth and seeing that certain behaviors were things that were present in my life that are no longer present to this day is a good thing. It's a blessing to have those things not be a part of me anymore, and for me not to feel the need to recreate those things because I know that they weren't serving me. And that's been like one of those I want to say affirmations that I kind of always heard, but I didn't really understand until very recently, that I want to let go all the things that no longer serve me, all the habits that no longer serve me, all the patterns that no longer serve me. I want to let those go, and knowing that that is a real thing that I can do, it has helped me tremendously. And I say this to you, know that you don't have to recreate the same patterns over and over again. Know that you can love and accept yourself. Know that you can have great things or good things that don't have to end in something bad happening, and you don't have to inflict any type of self harm or self destruction or anything like that to not be able to appreciate life, because life is a gift, but you don't have to give like a gag gift. It doesn't have to be like, oh, this is a good thing, on the outside, but then when you get on the inside, pop, surprise, it's not something that you would like. You don't want to give yourself that. You don't want to give anybody that, but especially yourself, because you are who you are here for. You are the person that you give the greatest gift of all to, and that's love. And that's being present to give yourself the gift of love. But you don't want to give yourself a gag gift, because that's not love. That doesn't come from a good place. It may come from a joking place, but that's not necessarily a good place, because what if you give a gag gift to somebody that has some type of trauma that they haven't told you about, and or that they're even unaware of, that causes them to have some type of emotional issue, and they're not able to enjoy the gift or enjoy the laugh that you're trying to give, because it's not something that they find funny, and that's not something that you want to do for yourself. You have to treat everybody like you treat yourself, or like you would treat yourself. If you would treat yourself with kindness, if you would treat yourself with love, you would treat anybody with love. And that's something that I've learned like through experience. Like if you treat yourself with love and kindness, you would treat anybody with love and kindness, but you have to do it to yourself first. And that's just something that I've come to the understanding of. And this is a message that I really want to pass on to other people. I was kind of on a roll, but yeah, I just really want to give that message of really treating yourself with kindness, and treating other people with kindness, but knowing that it starts with yourself first. But that's always my message, and that will always be my message. And I think I'm going to end this right here, but I will say that I love you and I appreciate you, and I hope that you have a great day.